Hello everyone, welcome to my video of my citrus trees, whether or not it's possible to grow citrus in the UK indoors in a pot. Really difficult to do. As you can see, just got these are two Meyer lemons, Calamondin tree. That's a Calamondin tree that was literally dying. My brother gave it to me and starting to come back to life. I think I've repotted it with some Westland citrus mix, and I treated it with some Epsom salt because the leaves were looking light green, so clearly a magnesium deficiency, I think. So let's see how it goes. This one here is a bit stressed. It's getting a bit of leaf drop because I repotted it and it didn't like it. So at the moment, it's trying to get to grips with its new soil and new environment. It's a lovely day in late April. I've put them on the windowsill so they get plenty of sunlight. Now, a lot of people say they shouldn't get direct sunlight. I'm not so sure. I think sunlight would probably do them good. It also will allow it to drain. I'm getting a bit of flower loss on these trees. They're obviously in bloom, and you can see that very fragrant flowers of the Meyer lemons, but they're very tiny trees, and for such tiny trees they have a lot of bloom, so it's quite normal for them to drop a few flowers, and hopefully some of those fruits will stay. But it's a very small tree and it can't possibly support that many flowers, so the natural process of elimination, I guess, and survival, it will probably drop a lot more of these blooms and not all of the fruit will set. I'll be happy if I get about 5 or 6 of these flowers to actually set and have about 5 or 6 lemons per tree. That's what I'm hoping for. And right now, regarding the care of these, I put them in pots simply because it has to be well drained soil and the water just leaches out. But you've got to have the inside pot slightly elevated, because when the water leaches out to the bottom, you don't want the roots sitting in the water, so it has to be slightly elevated where there isn't any contact. You can either put a little brick in there, or some people, I've put some gravel in the inside pot so the water seeps to the bottom of the gravel. Also improves humidity for the plant generally, and hopefully I can avoid root rot. I'm planning to water them once a week or maybe once every week and a half. I'm going to use a water meter. I'm going to let them dry out. Now there's some mixed advice around this. I mean, some people say that when citrus trees are in bloom like these two, you need to water them a lot to support those blooms, but I'm not so sure. I would like the soil to dry out before I water it again. Also, one other test is that you can feel as you water the plant, the pot will become quite heavy, but then as it starts to dry out, you'll start to feel a lot lighter, and that means that there's no water in the pot, and that's probably a good time to water. If you don't have a water meter, just stick your finger in there all the way up to your second knuckle, and if the soil still sticks to your finger, then you know it's not a good time to water. Like so, I'm going to do that, and you can see the soil is still sticking to my finger, so therefore I'm not going to water it. I'm going to use a water meter anyway. Also, another important thing is to make sure that the pH level, if you can get one of those meters that check pH level as well as moisture, that would be great. You can get them for about £5-6 on Amazon, and what they do is that they will tell you whether or not the soil is alkaline or not, or whether it's acidic. The citrus plants need acidic soil. The citrus mix I'm using is already acidic, but I have a citrus feed that has a high amount of nitrogen, NPK, potassium as well, in half the measure of the nitrogen. That will help keep the oil acidic, the soil acidic. And if you have a tree like this where it literally will not bloom, it's probably because of the acidity level. The soil is sitting in is too alkaline, and it needs to probably fed with a citrus feed, or give it some nitrogen based citrus feed, and that should start to help it to bloom, which is what but at the moment I really don't want this to bloom, because it literally just hasn't got enough leaves on it for it to support any fruit. I'll be happy if it just starts to shoot out some new leaves. And if I can see closely here, I can see that over here there's some buds appearing. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but certainly there are some buds appearing here, and I'm really hoping that they turn into leaves, because I need more foliage on this tree before I can start to push it to bloom. At the moment I'm just glad that its leaves have perked up and it's not dying on me. This one here, the leaves are starting to yellow. I treated it with Epsom salt, and I'm seeing some new growth here of leaves which are nice, lush and green. So I'm kind of happy. You can see these little new leaves here coming through, nice deep green. They're going to be a little bit yellow on the yellow side when they first come out, but eventually they will turn to a dark citrus green, which is what you want from your leaves. So I'll post an update in another month and see whether these guys are dead or thriving. Let's see how many of these fruits I can hold on to, and let's see whether or not I can get more leaves out of this, and it can finally de-stress this plant, get acclimatized to its new pot, and let's see if we can get more leaves on this one. So wish me luck, guys. It is a mission to grow citrus in the UK indoors in